right. Greetings, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of Now with Dr. Jones, navigating your opportunities to win. I'm your host, Dr. Davina Jones. You know, it is my pleasure to always bring you conversations to show you what it means to take an opportunity, to take an uncertain moment, an uncertain experience, and consider, how can I turn this into a win in my life? How can I see the light? How can I see good in this situation? How can I bring forth that good? Listen, we have an amazing guest. You all know I normally don't interview with notes, but I had to have notes for this one. It's so special. I desire to introduce you to our guest today, Sid McNary. Say hi to the people.
Hi, people.
There you go. Good job. So listen, Sid is a self-described quantum healer. I'm telling you, our conversation today is amazing. These are some of the notes that I desire to share with you. Sid is committed to helping others activate their own healing potential, allowing them to experience clarity. I'll pull this from your website. Renewal and a deep sense of well-being. You support spiritual awakenings, facilitate mental shifts, and aid in physical recovery. But you didn't just step into this work. You were known first in the arena of sports. Tell me about the work you did as a college coach and how you got to this conversation, this work of spiritual awakenings.
Well, becoming a college coach was really my life. I mean, 7 years old, I was noticed that I could run fast, and so when we moved from Baton Rouge, Louisiana to Washington, D.C. area and in the DMV, I was taken to play sports. And so I always had a relationship with my body that from 7 years old, I don't know any other way. Like either my body is ready to roll or it's not. You know, all the times as a young child that I would have 103 temperature and parents put me in the basement because it was cold and all the different things. And I'd be like, I'm playing tomorrow. And those would be my best games. Whenever I was sick, when I'd have asthma I couldn't breathe, then I couldn't think about anything other than being truly free. So I've learned that like everything for me was a spiritual moment, an opportunity to connect deeper, to be free in my body so much that I would defy the moments, all the things that would come. I can remember when I boxed in college. I played soccer in college. It was always physical for me. So what would happen was when I would get so locked in, I would only hear it, whatever you want to call it.
Voice,
God.
Something, God. Okay.
The voice. Like at 3 years old, when I had a surgery, I went back to the light and the light spoke to me. So when people talk about God, I'm like, all right, okay, great. You have your way of talking about God, but God talked to me. I don't really need anybody to ever try to tell me what God is because the voice came through the light to me.
When you experience that, it's nothing like trying to talk to a person that has an experience, because you're not talking to a textbook. You're not talking to a theory. Okay. So you said something really important. You are living out, expressing yourself through sports, which gives you a relationship with the body. The very fact that you're in sports, you're having this relationship with your body, you experience the light, you're coaching college football. All right. How do you get from coaching college football to facilitating spiritual awakenings? You've already told us that the foundation is there. It makes sense. But how do you jump into it? Like, what put you into that space of spiritual awakenings?
Well, I had many moments that took me away from my physical body. Like I used to race my players, right? Like that was, as I continued to get older, I would still race them because it was like, yeah, I'm fast and I know this. But then at one point, my ankle got so bad that I wanted to take my life.
Because all you know is your body working.
Absolutely. And the pain that came through my ankle at that time was unbearable. I mean, I told my wife, if I had a shotgun, it'd be over right now.
Wow.
And so from that moment, Then I had my ankle fused and had to process that. And even when I used to cut my cast off every couple days because I'd be like, I know I'm ready to walk. So the first time I cut it off and the wound was still open, and I went to the doctor and he's like, "You're the worst patient I've ever had." And I really take that in a good way, because it's like, yeah, I was terrible at being unhealthy or unable to move my body. It wasn't anything that I could compute I still can't.
How did you heal that? How did you heal? How did you experience healing? Because I'm going to get to this, because, of course, I have the honor of having heard some of your stories. So I'm working to get to you at Morgan State in, this whole thing with yoga. That's what I'm working on. Okay. So you're having this moment with your ankle. How do you experience healing? And then get me to coaching football at Morgan State.
Right. So in 95, I had the surgery.
Yeah.
And there was, when I began to recovery wasn't like what Miguel has today. Recovery was,
we're going to meet Miguel. We're going to meet Miguel coming up. We're going to meet Miguel. So just hold that thought right there.
So I used to take myself through the stairs that you could walk up, right? You can create the tempo of that. And I would put it on as high as it could go, and I would just be going. And because I wanted to get back to that feeling in my body of unstoppable. And so at one point, I remember this lady came up to me, and I didn't know her. She came up and she said, "Hey, you can heal your body." And I was like, "Okay, thank you. But it's what I'm doing." Like, what do you think I'm doing? I'm killing myself right now. And so she said, "Now go to Target and buy a video from this guy, Rodney Yee." So I went to Target, bought this video, and it was yoga. So I started doing yoga. And at the same time, Justin McCarron, that went on to play for the Titans and the Jets, we couldn't get his hamstrings to be healed. And our head coach, Joe, was like, "Sid, do you think he should take a yoga class?" And so I wanted to know, anytime that I offered something to the players, I wanted to know how it worked. So I would do it. So his needing to be healed helped me heal me too. Wow. So then I went through that process.
And so this is the beginning.
Yes.
This is the beginning of you coming into this greater awareness of your spiritual work.
Absolutely.
And it's starting with your own healing, accepting that recommendation to dig deeper into,
what works
like
for
yoga.
So many other people.
Yeah.
And then, so now Justin's about to graduate. Daryl's on his way out. Daryl gets hurt at practice. PJ's is still there. These are all names of guys that went on to the NFL that I coached, right? And so at one point, I was like, all right, Daryl and Justin, y'all are leaving. I'm leaving too. I can't handle where we are. There were a lot of different things that just my computing of my own mind. And so I wanted to step back in my career, because I knew I was losing in my marriage. I was losing with my children.
So you're not just healing, Sid. You're not just healing an ankle. You were healing your heart. You were healing your mind. You were healing your thoughts. Now you're talking about this holistic conversation. This is more than just an ankle. Now it's making sense how you're waking up spiritually, preparing. You don't know it yet, but preparing to help to manifest greater healings, help people to manifest their healings. This is what's getting ready to take you into what we now know, because you all, I have to say this, Sid is the recipient of the World Peace Award that was given to you in Sweden. But you didn't just wake up in peace and world peace. This is the beginning of this. So this is not just an ankle. This is whole body. This is whole soul. This is whole mind. Okay, I just needed to capture that. Okay?
I appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks for giving me a moment.
Absolutely.
And
but I needed to capture that moment. That was real, because we were talking about ankle, but that was a moment where we said, this is not just ankle here. This is deeper.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're doing yoga with these football players. They're going into the NFL. You're tooling.
We're not doing it together at that point, right? So now I step back. I end up going to Morgan State and coaching football, and they fired the head coach. They hire a new coach. Now we're trying to figure out how do we take a school that's lost for 24 years and turn it around. And I used to do yoga by myself to keep recovering me in the stadium. Coaches would see it, people would see it, and then they were like, "Do you think this can heal our team?" Because we were the second most injured team.
You got to be hungry when you ask that kind of question.
Absolutely.
A football team.
Right.
Do you think yoga can heal this football team?
Right.
And what we're doing.
We got to do something to get these people right. And so I said, yeah. And I began teaching 120 guys on a football field yoga.
You had them doing yoga poses?
Oh, absolutely.
A football team.
I mean, and it was different because at first we brought in a lady to teach them. And then one day she couldn't show. So that's how I had to coach. I had to teach yoga.
The universe was wooing you, buddy. Yeah. Pulling you in.
And so then I taught, and she was coming back, and they're like, "We don't want her anymore. We want you to teach."
Yeah. It was aligned.
Yeah.
It was aligned.
Yeah.
So now you're teaching yoga, Morgan State. What was the turnaround? Before we go to our break, because we're going to talk to what we're working on is the fact that you just helped to facilitate. Now I'm crying. You just helped to facilitate this amazing healing journey with a young soul named Miguel Noy. We're going to meet his mom, Glenda. But you're coaching football during the yoga. What's the turnaround? Tell us that. And then then we're going to go to break, and we're going to hear from Glenn. Because it's one thing to talk about this. It's one thing for it to work with you. But now you're telling us it worked for a whole football team. And we're going to get a chance to hear from a mommy who's going to ask you, can this work for my son?
Right.
All right. Give us Morgan State.
All right. So at Morgan, it began to be, all right, how can I strengthen their minds?
Yeah.
Because you got to go from 24 years. That's everybody in the past remembering losing. And that's all they even talk about.
Yeah.
They come to the games just to watch a halftime show, and then they leave. It's empty after that, right?
Yeah.
And so it was train their minds. So I would take them, and on Fridays they would walk through a game. I remember we were playing Hampton, and I said, okay, this game is going to end up at 49-46, and if we don't run this play, we don't win. And it ended just like that. I told them they're going to call timeout. You guys come over to me. I'm going to tell you a couple jokes. You go back out, and you don't do anything until I say go. And then when they said go, they ran down the field. We won 49-46.
Sid, this is what I was talking about. We started talking about your ankle. But then we had that moment where we realized this wasn't just ankle. This was marriage, relationships. This was the harmony of my life in question. Now you're working this with the football team. And you're now saying that this healing is mental. It's up here. Whatever is manifesting here, it's coming from here. So now you're having this turnaround because you're using yoga to stimulate a healing process that starts here.
Well, I'll tell you what was different though. When I was coaching football, it was me. I am driving this ship, right? I'm the coach. Yeah. I'm the one that went to boot camp.
Okay.
I'm the one that
me.
Absolutely. It was ego edging God out.
Yeah.
And then at one point, it got to a point where I remember after leaving football and, going to the White House, doing all these different things. And now. You
see how you just slid that in? Going to the White House. Like everybody just wakes up and goes to the White House. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, we'll catch that on another episode. And all of a sudden now I've sold everything. My body had fallen apart in 2016. 2019, my wife and I sell everything. We go and we travel down to Florida. We got married in the Panhandle.
Yeah. Okay.
Someone came to me and said, Sid, God's saying it'll take this gift from you if you don't use it. All these people show up. 66 people the first time, 50 people, 40 something people. They're all doing healing. And it's still like it's me.
So how do you get from ego to what? You went from ego to what? What do we call that? What? Ego to love? Ego to what?
To love.
Ego to love. How do you get from ego to love? And then we're going to hear from a mommy who's dependent on you to be in love and not ego.
Absolutely.
And her son is dependent on you to be in ego and not love. So how do we get from ego to love? And then we're going to go to break.
After doing these sessions with these people, I remember laying in bed with my wife, and she's told this story, so I'm okay telling this. And I reach over and I'm rubbing her chest, and I felt a lump. Now, she had lumps removed from what she had before, and I said to God, like, if I'm going to do this, then you heal my wife right now, or I won't do this. And she's never had lumps since.
Wow.
And so it used to be that I was doing it with people. Now I fall in love with them so much that I get them back to God.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Sid. That is incredible. When we come back from break, you're going to see this ego to love in the story of a mom who gets to a point where she's got to get healing for her son. She's counting on that love. She's counting on this work. She's counting on meeting somebody named Sid that's going to show her how to take all of this experience you had with your ankle, your own emotional, mental healings. She's counting on all of that to support her and her son in their own healing. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to The Now with Dr. Davina Jones. I'm so delighted to have this conversation. You've been hearing a conversation on healing as I got a chance to talk with Sid about the journey of healing, but now it's personal. We've got in the studio with us a mom. Y'all know when we're talking to a mom, it's personal, it's real now. Glenda, welcome to The Now. I'm so glad that you're here with us. We've heard Sid talking just a little bit about the family journey, but it's so important to have an opportunity to hear from you, from the mother's heart. So take us to, your mom, son. We're going to talk to Miguel in a moment, but let's first, hear from the mother's heart. Your son is having a health challenge. Describe to us what you are witnessing, what you are seeing, and at what point do you say, I've got to reach out to somebody else to partner with us? Take us to that.
He just called me and said that he has a headache and nauseous, and fever. So we thought that it was just, virus.
The flu.
Yeah, the flu, 24 hours or 3 days. But then it lasted more than 3 days. So he goes to the hospital, and he was in the hospital, and they couldn't find what was happening to him.
How long are you in the hospital and you're...
We were in Tampa General Hospital for 1 month and a half. Month and a half. Yes, and they didn't know what was happening. So he was treated for everything. Every virus.
A month and a half.
Yes. And then we moved to, he was in coma for twice. He was in coma twice.
So for a month and a half, your son is in the hospital.
Yeah.
We have no answers.
No answers.
We don't know what's happening.
No.
And he's in a coma.
He was in a coma, yeah.
At what moment are you moved to Jacksonville then?
After that month and a half, because he was not able to move. He only was able to move his one hand, and he needed therapy. So from Tampa, we moved to Jacksonville.
And
to the hospital in Jacksonville.
is he cognizant? Is he talking at the time, or is he still in a coma when you make
When
the
we
move?
moved, he was talking. He was aware.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at what point, a month and a half in, how do you find Sid as a healing partner? How do you find Sid?
So when all this started, like I was in faith
Mm-hmm.
all the time.
Mhm.
Something that I learned because I was saying that I was a woman of faith,
Mm-hmm.
but everything was good in my life.
It's easy to say you have
Yes,
faith when everything is working.
exactly.
Everything's good. Yeah.
Everything was very good. But when this happened and the uncertainty and to see him like that, I realized that I was really a woman of faith
Wow.
because I felt calm, very strong,
Wow.
like I was experiencing some pain, seeing him like that, but I never suffered.
Mm.
I was like, God, you know why this is happening.
So
You
your
are
faith was already in
control.
motion.
Yes,
Your faith was in motion.
yes, it was strong. And then when we come here, uh, and I said, okay, this is going to be fast for him. The healing is going to be fast. I need him to be focused, to be on track. I need someone that is not my voice.
How do you get to the someone called Sid?
And I have some specifications, I said it has to be male,
Okay.
strong,
Wow.
in faith. I have some verification, and a friend of mine tells me, okay, I know this person is called Sid, and she sent me his website, and I look at it and say, oh, this is what I'm looking for. So I call him, and we had a Zoom meeting.
Thank goodness you had a website.
Okay,
keep going.
And we had a Zoom meeting, to get to know each other. And then I tell him, well, we are here in Jacksonville. I said, you are in Jacksonville? I said, I'm here in Jacksonville too. It was like, it's perfect. So it was meant to be.
That's
like,
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What stood out? In a minute, we're going to get a chance to hear from Miguel, but I thought it important to hear Mommy's heart first. What stood out in reading about Sid's work? What grabbed you? You had the specifications, male and faith oriented and all of that. So was there anything in particular that just kind of like
a few things? Like he was a coach in the NFL, right?
College.
Football.
Yeah, yeah.
That he was a coach that was good. Spirituality, that was the number one. All the work that he has done to help the young people. So I said, oh, it's a great fit, So everything that I read, it was like in the right direction.
Oh my goodness. The power of Mommy's faith, the power of Mommy's prayers, the power of Mommy's hunger to help support the healing journey of her son. And you manifested that prayer. You manifested what you were seeking for, and you were able to connect with Sid. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Well, listen, when we get back from this break, we're going to hear from Miguel. You're going to get a chance to hear Miguel's story, and I'm looking forward to that. Mommy, congratulations. You did good, keeping the faith going and making that connection. So I'm so delighted that you did. So when we get back, we get to hear from Miguel, folks. Welcome back to Now with Dr. Davina Jones and my special guest. We've been talking about healing, the energy of healing, and now we get a chance to introduce you to a very special soul. I'm so honored to have this special soul here at the table with us to talk about his journey. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miguel Noy. Miguel,
Hey.
thank you so much for being on the show. Sid and I have been talking about this healing word, and it's one thing to talk about it.
Mhm.
It's another thing to live it. So, we talked about how, first of all, how did you find Sid and the work that Sid does? How did you come into the knowing of where Sid is?
It was a good friend of my mom. She recommended him, gave very good recommendations and stories and stuff like that. So we did some research and we've seen some of his work and we got to know each other. We had a talk and we realized it was a great fit to try it out. And then we tried it out and there's been success after that, including physical therapy and all that stuff. But it was more like finding like in between or inside of myself and connection with the Lord and with my family members and my friends and all that stuff that really also helped me on the emotional sides of things.
So you were experiencing treatment here in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yes.
You all connected with Sid, so we talked a little bit about that earlier.
Mhm.
Didn't even realize that Sid was in Jacksonville. You
No.
all thought you were in different cities. You're like, hey, I'm in Jacksonville. And so when this occurs, tell me what was the experience like meeting Sid, and how you approach this healing journey for yourself in the work with Sid. How did you approach it?
So no offense, I was a little bit, I was a little bit like
Who
sketched
is
out
this
at
guy?
first. Yeah,
What is
like
this?
I was like, what's the point in this? I know he talked a lot about like faith and all that, and before I was like, I know there's something there, but I don't really believe in anything. Um, but the experience was, it was like eye opening. Like there was so much I didn't know that I thought I knew about it, and then we started to talk about it, and it was like I was a completely different person. Just obviously I was going through something, but it was like very eye opening. Finally been able to meditate. I've never meditated before in my life, like deep meditation. And with him, I just like fall in a trance. So he's taught me how to like calm my body because I've always been like jumpy. Um, but yeah, it's kind of been like a whole process like that.
What was the diagnosis?
The diagnosis is a very rare disease. I forgot what it's called, but it's 1 in a million people. And then that caused another rare disease, which is 0.0005% of people.
You're a
So
unique soul.
yeah, it's like
That's
winning the
what it is.
lottery of
You're in the lottery.
yeah.
You got
So,
picked.
yeah.
But in this journey though, you have this diagnosis. What are you physically experiencing because of the diagnosis?
So I had this was before Sid. I was in Tampa General Hospital. I was hallucinating, had multiple seizures. I had basically a machine running. I told you about this, but every like organ in my body was run by a machine. It was like, and I don't remember much. I don't remember almost anything about the hospital at the beginning. And then I remember waking up and looking at my mom and saying, she asked me, "What year is it?" And it's 2023.
Wow.
And she was like, "Are you serious?" And it's like, "Yeah, it's 2023. It's October 2023." And then, so it turns out I kind of lost or forgot about a lot of things that happened during that time. And then my friends and my family, like mentioning stories and all that stuff, then kind of I started coming back with a lot of the memories.
So your body was basically shut down.
Yeah.
The machine was having everything was directing all of the functions of your body.
Yeah.
Somewhat not cognizant. Walking, were you able to walk at that time or no?
No. So what I remember, before they told me I was able to stand up, but from the first thing I remember in the hospital, I was completely numb, kind of from the neck down, besides my arm. So the only thing I could move was my arm, and barely.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just the arm, right arm.
My right arm.
That's it.
That's it.
So when you meet Sid, what does Sid say at what moment do you say, okay, I'm gonna give this a go? What was it about? What did he say? What did he demonstrate? What did he do? What was that moment like where you said, okay, I'm gonna be a partner in this journey? What
Yeah.
was that moment?
So I kind of had that moment from the beginning just because a good friend of my mom recommended him.
But you still had a little
And
hesitation, like,
exactly, yeah.
So when did you get past the
The
hesitation?
the moment was kind of when after our first session, I had a dream. I told you about this. I had a dream of me moving or walking, or it was something. It was something with my legs. And then the next day, that morning, my leg twitches. And I'm like,
Yes,
wait a
yes.
second. He said something like that would happen. He said I would dream something. And the next day, I'd be able to do it.
Wow.
And then I wasn't walking, but my leg twitched. It was the first movement of my leg. Because by then I already had motion on my arms and a little bit. I was very weak. My left arm was very weak, but I had motion on my legs, of my neck and my like core, but my legs were completely numb. So that was the first time that even a little this I could
It
control.
was enough to see
Yeah,
the
muscle
healing
spasm.
process is working. It's
Yeah,
working. That is a good time to say, let me
yeah,
cooperate with this. Let me
hmm
collaborate with this.
yeah,
And so you go from not really being you go from a machine having to direct all of your functions, all of
mm,
your organs, only being able to use your right arm. You go from there to a twitch, and then what?
yeah. And then it was being able to lift my leg. Then it was able to kick. Then through physical therapists, they just tried pushing me and stuff like that from those kicks. And then it was, damn, Sid, I couldn't walk. Like I tried to walk, but my right foot wasn't working. I was like, all right, let's focus on that right foot. Then I'd get muscle spasms. I need to learn, like, I remember it. He said, don't fight it. Say it's
Mm,
everything's all right. Like flow
mm,
with it. And then I
mm-hmm,
was able to control my spasms more often.
mm, mm.
And it was like every time I'd had a problem, I'd talk to him, and it was more like just go with the flow, like just trust him, be open with him, like don't hide anything from him, because like if I'm hiding stuff from him,
You're
I'm hiding it
blocking
from
the work.
myself, yeah,
Yeah. I
and I'm
like
blocking
that.
the
If
work,
you're hiding it from him,
yeah.
you're really hiding it from yourself.
hmm
That's good. That's good
So
insight.
yeah,
Wow.
that's kind of what I was like. We did a clearing every time that I kind of just talked. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't say anything. He just kind of talked until he felt like he had to interfere. But it was just me like talking about my problems or talking what I
Mm-hmm.
went through. Or it was
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, which that really kind of got me going. And then it was like, what else? And I opened up
Mm-hmm.
more. And then I didn't even realize. I was like, damn,
He's
actually,
working it. He's working it. You were doing it.
I was like, I went through a lot. Like, what? Nothing. Not that much happened today. But yeah,
Wow.
but
This has been so amazing to, go through these segments talking with Sid and so forth, your mom, and then hearing from you
mm,
because you are the soul that experienced this. Sid, Miguel used, before we close out, Miguel used two words. I heard him say his session, and then I heard him say clearing. What does that mean, session, and then clearing? What does that mean?
Well, for me, the sessions are every time we come together. You know, I've learned kind of a pattern that people need to move from through to get to a place that they're truly connected. And the clearing is to clear anything out mentally that keeps us from having a clear connection
Mhm,
to the source
mhm,
that can come in and
mhm,
allow when I put hands on someone, it brings the energy through
mhm, mhm.
so that it's clear to be received.
Yeah,
But if I'm
yeah,
blocking it in my mind, if someone is blocking it in
yeah,
their mind, then it
yeah, yeah.
doesn't come through. And I can remember the one time when there was one time I came to the house and it was like, all right, what'd you do today? And he was like, well, I stood up and I'm tired and I don't want to do it again. I'm like, no, not the agreement we're making here.
Not the agreement.
And so if two or more agree in my
Yeah,
Father's name, so it shall be,
yeah,
it
yeah,
says in
yeah,
the Bible,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so I was like, so I'm number two, you have to be number one.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, so why don't you stand up? He was like, I guess I'll stand up then.
Wow.
and that's actually the moment where it really started fast forwarding,
mhm,
Mm-hmm.
where it was like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
now he's making the agreements for
Mm-hmm.
himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I can be number two, his mom's number two, his dad's number two, everybody else is the number two. He's got to be number one. And that's everybody. Everybody that's watching this, you've got to be number one in your own life.
That's amazing. Miguel, thank you so much for being on the show, helping to show people what it means to navigate your opportunity to win. You took this moment, you jumped in. I mean, you had some cheerleaders pushing you in, but you got in there to do the work. And Sid, thank you so much for manifesting your gift on earth. I think we've been able to actually hear a part of what I mentioned earlier. You said, and I'm repeating here, that you're here to help others activate their own healing potential, allowing them to experience clarity, renewal, and a deep sense of well being. You helped to activate. You did the work. His job was to help you activate it, and you did it. So congratulations, high five.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing more of your healing. Sid,
I do
thank
want
you
to
so
say
much.
this
Yes.
right before we close off. Now that you've received this, right? Like you've taken this into you, it's up to you to be someone else's light.
Pay it forward.
Yeah.
You got to move it forward. You got to move it forward. Sid, give us your web address where individuals can find out more about your work. What is that web address?
SidMcNary.com, artofpeacefulliving.com. You can go to artofpeacefulliving.com and that'll take you directly to the healing work. SidMcNary.com, that'll give you an opportunity to see the whole picture of everything. And eventually we'll have this guy on there so you can work with him too.
Wow, this has been amazing. I'm so delighted that you've come again to just share this healing journey. And Sid, for you to just allow yourself to yield yourself to this work, because either one of you can say no at any point. It takes you saying yes. It takes you saying yes. And you put these yeses together and you begin to magnify what our true power is from the inside out. That anybody can manifest healing, but you've got to be able to do the work. You got to be willing to do the work. Got to be willing to give it a yes. You got to be willing to collaborate. Got to be willing to be the number 2 and the number 1. Be the number that you're supposed to be so that you can do this work. Thank you again so much. I'm so grateful that you've spent time with us today. Folks, every situation is an opportunity for you to win. And so make sure if you need to review this, rewind it, whatever the word is, replay it, do what you need to do so that you can equip yourself and tool yourself to take a moment and recognize that this is a moment for me to navigate so that I can find the win. Every moment is a moment for you to win. You cannot fail. There are no mistakes. You're either getting a lesson or you're implementing a lesson. It's the lesson or blessing. No mistakes, no failure. Every opportunity is here for you to navigate it so you can win. I've enjoyed this time with you. Take care, everybody. See you soon.